disclosure. Sober disclosure. Breezy's a slut.
And we like it in the butt.
Are you or someone you know looking for support in recovery? Taste Recovery is your go-to directory for sober resources. Whether you're searching for treatment centers or sober living communities, Taste Recovery connects you with the right tools and support to help you on your journey. With a user-friendly platform and a comprehensive list of resources, Taste Recovery makes finding the help you need easier than ever. Start building your path to a healthier, sober life today. Visit tasterecovery.com to find the resources that work for you. Taste Recovery, your first step to a lasting positive change. Hi, everyone. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober
Disclosure. Yes.
We are here with Pee-Pee, a fat dyke muscle bull.
Hi, I'm Pierre.
What's a muscle bull?
A muscle bull? Just like an overly muscular guy with a lot of testosterone that wants to have sex with everybody.
Oh my God.
Whatever this is.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
Because he has muscles and his cock is full of bull semen because he's eating a lot of like grass-fed like meat and stuff.
What an intro.
Wow, literally.
So then if he
How do you
has-
even live up to that?
If he has unprotected
blushing.
sex, the girl will get pregnant.
Oh
sure.
my God.
And
I
they'll have-
actually bet that's true though.
No, it is. And then they'll have little Pierre French
Peepees.
babies.
Little-
yeah.
little
Little
peepees.
peepees running around.
Little peepees running around. I love that.
And I said dyke because before he got lean, he showed a picture on his Instagram and he looked like a fat dyke.
Thanks for that. Build up just enough confidence to post it. That's
Yeah,
what I get.
yeah. And now
Well,
you're
what did I look like? A fat, gay,
Oh, that made me
transsexual. I don't
sad.
know.
He built up just enough confidence to post it, and now you're
Oh,
tearing him
he's
down.
come on. Pierre's
No, I can handle
all
it.
talk. He wants sympathy.
I'm always the sympathetic one. Like,
Yeah, I
no,
got you.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh my god.
I want them to post the podcast.
Which one?
This one.
Who?
If you say too many mean things, they won't reshare it.
Who?
Anyone.
It's got to be edgy.
He'll
though.
reshare it.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm making.
You're
little
sweet, he's
jokies.
sour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sour Patch. Sour than sweet.
Yeah. That's really cute. Anyways, back to PP. So, Pierre, how much time sober do you have?
I have 4.5 years.
Have you ever listened to our podcast?
I have.
Wow. I thought I was going to catch you.
No, I really
he
like
only
it.
listened to it when I asked him to be on it.
No, I listened to it a little bit before.
Oh,
Like
good.
little clips on Instagram.
Here and there.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It doesn't? Okay.
Like, subscribe, comment. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Got
Thank
it. A
you
true
so
follower.
You, out of all people, should know that.
Yeah,
Got it.
so Pierre is an influencer now.
A fitness influencer, and he's my trainer,
Yeah.
and he's crazy, but I need crazy. He's like the Gene, like Gene is in AA. He's like that in fitness.
Oh, it's
He's like,
all
Jimmy,
making
where's your macros? You need to do all your steps every single night. Where is it? There's no excuse.
I don't even know what a macro is.
Totally.
Micronutrients.
Did you say micro?
It's like tracking your food,
Macronutrients.
like
Oh.
calories, protein, fat, all that.
Oh, what if I refuse to eat steak?
There are substitutes for whatever you refuse to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on like a no red meat, no boys,
That's
no nothing.
fine.
I'm just kidding.
So basically, you're saying you're a challenge.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you sold.
Okay. I need abs.
This episode is Pierre giving fitness advice to me and Breezy.
I love it. Oh, we're a clusterfuck. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have, I'm so sorry, you said 4.5 years?
Mhm.
Okay. So, but this is not your first time getting sober.
It's not. I had 3 years when I was 19 to 23, and then I went out for 2 years and then got sober again this time.
Wow, you got sober young.
I did. I had to. Yeah.
19. That's crazy. Can you walk us through the decision of getting sober at that age?
So
You haven't even had like a legal drink yet, you know?
Not in this country, but
That's right. Pee-pee is from Betty.
that sounds better when you say pee-pee and purry together.
Yeah. Thank you.
It sounds French.
It sounds more eloquent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pee-pee.
No, but so I had to get sober a few times before I was 19, mostly because either I got in trouble with the law, my parents, school, um, and then sometimes I would just travel, and like day one, it would be a shit show basically, and I would have to get sober in order to just maintain and not fly off the handle. By 19, it was like it completely stopped working, and I had nowhere else to turn, kind of like a lot of people that come to the program. You good or
No, I had to sneeze. I'm sorry.
what's going on right there?
I was trying not to sneeze.
You guys punking me? Is this a prank?
No. Pee-pee. We want to see your pee-pee.
Got it.
You were making was too funny. I had to point it out.
No,
You looked.
I heard it.
It was so good. Okay. For those that are just listening, you gotta go watch it on YouTube. Jimmy was about
I
to
feel like
sneeze.
someone's gonna make a parody
Yeah.
of the sound effects.
Oh, for sure. He was gonna sneeze, but he sucked it back in.
I sucked it back.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to hear me sneeze.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
He was really, really trying to just let you have your moment, but I threw it all away.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to you.
Yeah. So I got sober the first time at 19. I went to rehab. That was really interesting. Trying to get sober with they put you on all these meds. I went through quite a bit of meds because they thought I had a lot of mental illness problems, and
Ooh.
I don't really know what it was at the time, but I definitely would go up and down in moods. Like one day I would be like, "Hey, can you give me the phone? Like I just want to call my enemies and tell them I love them."
Your
They'd be like,
enemies.
"Oh, okay, yeah."
Oh, shit.
And they'd be like, "Yeah, I don't think so."
Yeah.
And then the next day I'd be like crying and like pissed and want to fight everyone, and they're like, "I think he's on the wrong meds."
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds like it.
yeah, and then I would honestly just try to do anything to not be bored and stay out of my mind. And so Friday the 13th came up once, and I convinced everyone in the house to do a seance. And I didn't think anything would happen.
Was this in a sober living or a treatment center?
It was in a treatment center.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't think anything would happen, but at one point we lit up these teacups, and one of them exploded and a drape caught on fire, and then the owner of the house came in at that exact time, and I almost got 5150'd once they put it out. They said if you ever do anything like that again, you're gone.
Do you feel like the demon came in and blew up the teacup?
I mean, yeah, right time, right place. I don't know what else happened.
Or, yeah, it was just a weird coincidence.
It gave me goosebumps.
Whoa, that's crazy. I did a lot of Ouija board shit in my first year too,
Witchcraft.
which literally no one has mentioned. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's on this podcast.
Disclosure.
But I feel like that is a very normal thing to
It
do when
is.
you're in treatment, in a sober living. Everyone all of a sudden is like, let's do Ouija boards, let's do seance, let's do fucking weird shit. And
Tarot cards. A lot
Tarot
of people are doing
cards.
Tarot cards.
yeah, anything witchy, you get sober and you just want to still be in that other realm of whatever the fuck we're in our addiction, but not get loaded.
Well, because they tell you to focus on being spiritual in order to change everything about yourself. But it's okay, if I'm going to be spiritual, how do I not focus on everything that has to do with being spiritual?
The good
when
and the bad.
Yeah, when you come from being bad, it's somehow it gets incorporated, or you got to face it.
Yeah, you want the dark.
You want the dark.
With the light. Oh, interesting. So you almost got 5150'd.
Yeah, thank God I didn't. Probably wouldn't have gone well. There were a few other incidents. I tried to fight the biggest person in my rehab, which I don't know why. I was just having a manic episode, and then just started smashing all the valuables in the house. And then again, they kind of just pinned me and told me if you continue, we're gonna lock you up.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I pretty much just got humbled a lot in rehab until I calmed down, stayed sober, even though I was manic. And then I ended up going to sober living and went to meetings. At first, I went to a lot of mixed meetings because I was really young and just trying to find friends and a
No,
crowd
you were
to be
trying to
with.
smash.
Not really. I feel like I felt super awkward in my body at the time, to be honest, being
Oh.
sober.
Okay.
Yeah, that
That's
took a while
relatable.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time it took like 6 months to even like address like, okay, I'm not so smoked out. Like maybe I should approach someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You didn't stay sober.
No. I stayed sober for 3 years.
Yes, but
yeah.
what was it that you feel like what were you not doing in that recovery?
Great question. Yeah, I was doing all the things in the beginning because I had that gift of desperation. And I got plugged into a good group, had the sponsor, did the steps, a lot of fellowship, a lot of service. But around the 2 year mark, like things got really good really quickly. And I started slowly taking my will back. That ego came in of like, I got this, like, I know what to do now. And around year 2 to 3 is when I would like slowly inch away, like going to less meetings, talking to the sponsor less, being less honest with other people. And by year 3, like basically telling myself, oh, I'm sure if I was just young and dumb, maybe I could try again just drinking or whatever and I'd be fine.
Mm.
And then eventually, like right after I got my 3 year chip, I was like, okay, let's do it. I did
Yeah.
the 12 steps,
Yeah.
whatever. The main thing I didn't do that time, though, I didn't take someone else through the 12 steps.
But you made a conscious choice. You're like, I'm gonna go back up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this time around, I've noticed like you can't just do the 12 steps. For someone like me who's like very spiritually sick, I have to take someone else through the 12 steps. It's like a full 24.
That makes sense. And you had said something when we were talking beforehand that you started taking all of the credit.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what was going on in that second year that got so good that it was Pierre that was doing all of the things?
Well, yeah, so that kind of goes back to like I'm only doing the steps. I didn't take someone else to them, so all I did was take in AA. I never gave back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just assumed that I could keep doing that, but that's not really how the program works. Like I didn't really humble myself. My ego just imploded, and it was mostly like I got financial success. Things started going well dating, and I got everything back with my family, relationships, all of that. And I don't know, it took very little for me to just be like, I don't want to do what anyone else asks of me anymore. I'm just going to start doing whatever I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how is that helping you in this sobriety?
Definitely made me realize that I have a huge ego, that I constantly need to be humbled, and I need to be giving back and helping other people. I think for a lot of sober alcoholics, if we aren't treating our primary purpose of helping other people, then we don't feel fulfilled. If you don't feel fulfilled, then you're not happy, you're not content. So you'll start acting out, like it says in the book, like being restless, irritable, and discontent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that was a big thing, even in this sobriety. I had to learn, like, I would be miserable around other people that were happy because I couldn't stand to see other people happy if I wasn't making myself happy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You have a very interesting, like, to be able to make so much money so young and in sobriety, I feel like that's a very unique obstacle to overcome in recovery. And like I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of people have not succeeded, because it's like you finally get that success, you make a lot of money, and it's like, well, now I have drug money, you know. So I'm curious if you can like kind of talk about that and what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I dropped out of college, So when I got sober again, I just got the get well job in the beginning, and then I ended up in phone sales. Um, I mean, I found a niche in doing something I was like passionate about. It was like helping people get financially educated. And then it was just like setting goals, which I know in sobriety, like people do with certain things, like maybe their health or like their goals with the program spiritually or like with their family or whatever. For me, it was like, okay, how do I like continue to progress in life? And so I started doing like what other successful people do, like little habits, like waking up early, giving myself positive feedback. And then it just started like building momentum where like I would try extra hard at work. I wouldn't settle until I was like the top 10. And then once I'd reached a certain goal, I'd always want to surpass it. I'd always want to get promoted. Eventually it was like, okay, how do I like start my own business? Like all these things, just like one thing after another. I feel like a lot of people, I mean, it's good to like, a job's a job. Not everybody's going to be after it for money. I think being in sales really helped just continue with that, but it was mostly like also never being satisfied and always wanting more, which I think is a problem with alcoholics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it didn't necessarily make me that happy once I had reached the success financially. It was more like, now what? Or what do I even do with this?
So what's the difference between when you were successful and ego came in from the first time to now?
Now,
How did you stay sober through that?
yeah, I think now there's more purpose behind it. It's not just the actual financial goal, it's more so the purpose behind it. Meaning, for me, it's like one day I want to get married and start a family and be able to like buy a house, build assets.
So the
all those
intention
things.
was different.
Yeah, exactly.
And then by fulfilling the goal helped you build confidence instead of build other ego, which is ego, right? From the beginning, yeah. Okay.
He makes you laugh more than anything.
I know. I love that beautiful
I was
face.
gonna say, should I tell PP the story?
What story?
Uh-oh.
Should I tell him the story? I don't want to make things weird with him though at the gym. So when Pierre came to Camp Soberfest, I was with Angel and I was like, oh my god, Angel, Pierre's so cute. And so the whole time at the Camp Soberfest, we were trying to see how big his penis was through his shorts.
Oh my
But then he like hides it really well, so we never saw it.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
you would have never. And then we would wear sunglasses, and then Angel would be like,
Oh my gosh. I love that for
I'm
you.
totally just rolling with this. I've never heard about this.
I've never heard this either.
Okay.
I think gay men look for men's penis
Oh,
size
yeah, all the time.
way more than women.
oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever looked and been like, let me see what's
Sweatpants
going on.
season. Gray sweatpants season.
Okay, that's like if it's literally hitting me in the face and I'm looking at it, sure, but I'm not like looking for what.
Because
the
that
penis
happens
size is.
often, or
Yeah, whack me in the face with that thing. No, it doesn't. Unfortunately.
only during sweatpants season.
Yeah.
And she's not doing red meat.
Oh.
So there
Period.
goes her social
Speaking of
life.
red meat, so you did not date your first year.
I didn't.
Did you
Red
have
meat.
Back to that.
I think it might be pink, not red. Just kidding.
Oh my god. I just
Back
choked.
to that. You
Mm.
didn't date your first year.
No.
Your
Why?
entire first year?
Yeah.
Did you have sex?
Jinx.
Wow. I was like,
Yeah,
Insane.
we're really good at this now. We can read each other's
she just gave me the signal.
minds.
I was looking away.
Absolutely.
You did have
Terrible
sex.
excuse. Yes, I did.
A lot of
Um,
sex.
No, I slipped up like 3 or 4 times, which I guess sounds like a lot, but for me in a year, compared to before, it was like a lot of progress. It was more like something that
Wait,
just
why
happened
did
in
you
the
say
moment.
slip up?
What do you mean?
You slipped
You
up.
have a negative connotation of you having sex
Oh,
in your
yeah.
first year.
Because my goal was to just stay away from relationships altogether, casual sex or anything like
Okay.
that. But that's not exactly what happened. But I didn't date or get in any serious relationship.
Did you feel bad when you did it, or you were like, "Oh my god, I didn't really like."
Kind of, yeah.
Did the goal and I didn't do my goal, so you felt a little bit.
No, I didn't feel great
Upset
about
about
it
it?
because I felt like when I had casual sex, it's just kind of like using someone, which kind of made me feel like I was just using drugs, but with a person almost.
Mm. I love that. That's
So you
interesting.
used her as a cum dump.
So you
Wow.
didn't tell her that it was just going to be casual.
That I don't remember, but probably not.
Mm.
So the intention was not there.
The honesty.
It was a
Honesty,
very
yeah.
spur of the moment thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Well, then maybe she was using you too. You don't know that.
Great.
Girls
Yeah.
like to fuck too.
That's true.
Word.
Word.
I hear it every
period.
day in my chair.
Yeah, oh my god, I can't even imagine. I would love to be a hairdresser just for that reason. Sorry. So, okay, so you weren't dating. What was that first year like for you? Was it like men's meetings only? This round of recovery, like what have you done differently this year in your first year of this sobriety?
Yeah, I definitely went to a lot of men's meetings. For me, that's like what really built a foundation because I found a solid group of guys and I knew I could grow with them. Because a lot of them had like decades of sobriety. They'd been through a lot more life sober.
Mm.
And a lot of them, started out really sick like me, and like I could tell they'd come so far. And anytime I went to mixed meetings, like I wasn't really listening. I was kind of just sitting in the back. I wasn't in the middle of AA, where I felt more in the middle of AA, actually being in men's meetings. Now, when I do go to mixed meetings, though, like it's just the intention that's different. It's mostly like trying to find sponsees, just fellowshipping, all the stuff that is good that you can get out of mixed meetings versus just like being in the background and
Looking for girls.
exactly,
Yeah.
or just like not getting anything good out of it.
Yeah. Were you just like in the back, like hoping girls were looking at you?
No, I just like
You're
wouldn't pay
a
attention.
fucking liar.
Not really, to be honest. It was more just like I'm not paying attention to anything. If I'm not paying attention to anything in a meeting and I'm at a meeting, my head just starts spinning. And then
Ooh.
I'm just staring at girls, or then I'm just like talking shit to people next to
Oh,
me,
yeah.
judging everyone.
Yeah.
And then I'm just festering and being dry, which feels even worse when you're like in a meeting.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because
No,
you're like
that's so
face to face
true.
with it, and you're
Yeah.
like, what's
You can
wrong with me?
feel it.
Everyone else seems like they're doing so well and like spiritual.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I am recently going through that where I just don't want to go to my meetings because I'm going to sit there and just be upset at everyone's share. And then I'm like trying not to like tell AJ like, oh my God, they're so annoying. So I'm trying to stay away from the meeting until I can mentally be there, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but I just am like, I'm having not a good time in the meeting. So I have to like,
You got to switch up your
pray
meetings.
about it. Maybe I have to switch the meeting up.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe you're growing and you're outgrowing
I'm
those
outgrowing
spaces.
the meeting. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Because it's the same person sharing, does
Yeah.
not let anyone else share. And then my sponsor's like, you share and change the meeting. It's your job.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I can't even do that because, and then they're going to be, the person that's sharing is like, the same thing, the same rundown, every single, and then we were going to actually put a format in that says you
Can't share every week.
can't share every week.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you shared last week, you can't share
But
this
when
week.
you said that, I'm going through that right now. So I'm trying to figure out what is it that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like it's never that black and white.
It's not. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and you got to really like dig deep. And
Yeah.
is it even the meeting?
And
is
pray
it
about
the way you
it. Yeah.
perceive it? Like,
Yeah.
praying
Yeah.
about it definitely helps.
To
That's
find the
very
right
true.
answer.
Yeah. So what was Pierre like in his first year?
First year, I was very neurotic, very impulsive.
With what?
Just anything. Like, mostly since I was trying to stay away from casual sex and relationships, it was just like adrenaline junkie
I thought you were
stuff.
going to say porn.
I mean,
Maybe.
any young guy,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole can
Different
of worms.
topic.
We have
No, I would just do adrenaline junkie stuff like go snowboarding, go
Yeah.
skydiving, just random stuff like that. Just always trying to do something where I'd feel like on edge and like super alive. But I feel like I was chasing fun too much and there wasn't that much balance. It would be like always hanging out with friends. And when I wasn't doing that, I was in meetings. I wasn't like having enough alone time or like growing individually. So yeah, that made it kind of hard. Whenever I was alone, it was just like I don't even know what to do, or like how to be okay with myself. So that was definitely something I had to work on for a while, and it extended because just kept trying to get distracted.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I've definitely, and I think a lot of people can. And most of the time, people don't even realize that they're doing it, that they're just constantly running away from something.
Yeah, it's like
themselves.
autopilot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, hell no, I'm not going to go sit and be by myself. And yeah, that shit's scary up
All the
there.
things.
Yeah, no, so it's very relatable. So you were doing a lot of trips. Was it people like that you met in the program?
Yeah, so mostly people in AA that were also willing to travel. I feel like I actually met a lot of people that wanted to. Like anytime I went to a different country, we would just go to new meetings. There's a lot of English speaking meetings. And anytime you meet people in AA, like they're so friendly and they'll just ask if you want to like tour around with them. They'll show you around. Like I even went to Hawaii once the night of that we arrived right after a meeting. They're like, do you want to go island hopping with us for a week? And I was just like, only in AA. Like, why would this happen to me?
And that was in your first year?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right before I got a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
What a gift, and I feel like that's just, you can't even make that shit up. Like, how do you just go from like, hey, I was literally a junkie like a year ago and now my life is like this?
I don't know if people ever talk about this, but I still have a lot of friends and people in my life that are normies, and sometimes they tell me like they're kind of jealous because like the power of the community that we have is like there's nothing else really like it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very true.
and there are other communities, obviously people that do church and stuff, but like it's very different because there's no hierarchy. Like we're all just trusted servants. We're all on an equal playing field. Like it's very harmonious, very peaceful.
Sometimes.
Can be. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. We like to throw in chaos. Yes, we do.
Yeah, there's a lot of sickness in it as well. But when you get a good place, you stick in it for sure. So your first year, you were saying you were staying away from relationships and women. What happened day one of your first year?
Day one of the first year, I got back on the dating apps.
Knew it.
Yep. And I don't really know why. It was just like, oh, it's been this long, even though I knew at the time I was getting kind of dry again in my steps. And anytime I got a new sponsor, because I was like fishing through new sponsors at the time, because I just gone to a men's, but I didn't want to like finish them or go through all 12 steps for some reason. The new sponsor would tell me like, don't just start dating again. And I was like, but I have a year sober. And they're like, okay, but like you're super dry.
Yeah.
And then I didn't listen. And I ended up in a relationship. And then I just found a sponsor that basically co-signed that and let me do the steps alongside that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was the right decision?
I had to learn a lot and went through a lot of pain and realized I wasn't ready for a healthy relationship, and that caused other people to get hurt.
But you never would have realized that if you didn't walk through it.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's not that black and white, I guess.
Yeah, it's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you mentioned that I would like to go back to is the fact that you were sponsor hopping.
Mm-hmm.
I too
To find the right answer?
sponsor hopped.
Definitely not.
Huh?
More like to find someone that would co-sign.
Well, that's right. To find
Okay.
your right answer. I'm asking Breezy, you sponsored Hop to find your right answer.
What was your reason behind it?
I don't know, honestly. I I felt like, not consciously, but like I just felt like nobody was giving me what I wanted.
Mm.
And I felt like I was so sick in my first year. Like I was on this high horse where I just thought I was so above everything and everyone. And like there was zero humility whatsoever. And I just like had crazy expectations of human beings. And so I was just constantly like, this person is not meeting those expectations. And therefore, I'm just going to find somebody else.
Mhm.
And also, I think there was just like a shit ton of fear of like not really wanting to do the work. And I've shared about it on the podcast. Like my first year, I hadn't even worked the steps. I got up to take my chip and I was just like hysterically crying and I was like miserable. I was so miserable and I had no solution. And everyone's looking at me like, you know, share your experience, drag it up. And I'm like, don't do what I'm doing. I'm fucking miserable, you know?
Wow.
So what,
Yeah,
what was your, that's why when you said it so quickly, but like it, these are things that people just don't talk about in meetings. And
I really
that's
relate
why
to that.
that's why we started this podcast. Like we
Yeah.
want to talk about things that people don't share about
Oh,
because
okay.
they don't
Yeah.
want to like look bad in a meeting, or they don't want the
Yeah.
newbie to think that that's acceptable. And it's like, no, we need to talk about these things. We
Yeah.
need people to understand that they're not alone in this, and that like it's okay to talk about and share your experience in
like,
doing the wrong thing
What
or the
Pat,
wrong thing.
yeah,
There
what
is no
Pat
wrong
said that brought a light up in my head was, or an aha moment is, if you, by you putting like restrictions on people as a sponsor, someone helping someone, it causes people to have secrets and shame. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I first got sober, my best friend still tells me my very first meeting out of rehab, like a real meeting in person, I thought I was smarter than everyone. And then they were like, well, then why are you in a meeting fresh out of rehab? And I had no answer. I
Yeah.
was just that delusional.
Yeah.
And I also had really high expectations of people. Anytime things didn't go my way, I would like go into a frenzy. But then along the line, I kind of realized like if I really am meant for more, then why don't my actions align?
Mm.
I can't like be mad at anyone but myself if I'm miserable, because
Yeah.
like the program does offer a solution. And you guys know we will literally try anything but what's right in front of us
Yep.
that we know works with the same exact brain,
Yeah.
different body. I did that like without even realizing all those things it said in the book, like don't take a trip, get in the relationship, don't get in the relationship, do self-help books, yoga, like all these things, just not the actual solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we still do that. Like I still talk to people every day, and I still notice when I talk to people, I always want to be terminally unique. I always want to try doing something else, thinking that'll work, almost like an obsession with like being insane.
Yeah. Absolutely. We do. We love the fucking chaos. Life is like, oh, it's really good, but it's kind of boring.
Exactly.
How am I gonna blow this up just for a little bit, and then I know the solution now, so I can get back in and like
Yeah.
get better really fast now.
Like this seems too good to be true. Let's put it in the books. I still definitely obsess on little things out of my control and
Blow them up.
yeah, blow them up. But I realize if I actually talk about it instead of just letting it ruminate in my head like any other resentment, it doesn't just blow out of proportion anymore. It's more like subsided pretty quickly, or someone will call me out, or I'll do something to like lower my ego and humble myself a little bit, just enough to like get through it in a more sane and spiritual way than I would have prior.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do it perfect though.
Of course
No,
not.
yeah.
None of us are perfect. Something that I would really like to talk about is younger men in the program finding their community. Like, how do you find other men to do life with? I just like, I've been seeing so many things about men not sharing about their emotions and what they're going through, and I don't think that's like a unique thing. I think men really struggle with that, and I can't relate because I tell my girlfriends absolutely everything and anything, and I just want to have like a very open and honest conversation about what that looks like of like getting into the program and looking for friends or people that you look up to, and how do you, start those types of friendships.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually think it's a lot harder for girls because it seems like there's a lot, at least from what I've seen, it seems like there's a lot more drama and like trust issues of like being able to share openly and like get close to people.
Mm,
Where like guys, it seems like it's a little bit easier, but there's also the issue I've noticed where like we're afraid to ask for help. We
hmm
don't want to say we're struggling with things. We don't want to get emotionally vulnerable. We don't want to tell people what's really going on if it makes us look weak or less like a man or whatever. When like nobody really cares. We've all been through it.
Yeah,
Nobody's judging anybody.
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had that problem. And every time I like delayed the inevitable, it just blew up in my face. Until I shared openly with someone, because I remember I went through a few times, like even with a fourth step or doing a full inventory or whatever, where I couldn't get completely honest. But once I did, I realized it really wasn't that big of a deal.
hmm
Definitely felt like a weight lifted off. But also, I was like, I wonder why it took so long to do that.
hmm
It's just like completely being driven by fear and ego.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did you start letting people in? Like, besides your sponsor who you're doing those,
Yeah,
your inventory with?
I think it's really good to go to meetings where you find people that are doing things that you look up to. So, like what you just said, you actually hear people getting vulnerable, clearly building a fellowship and growing together. For me, I had to go to men's meetings, but I don't think that's necessary. It's more just like finding people that have what you want and actually following them and listening to them and growing with them. If you don't give it a chance and you don't find those meetings by like truly listening and talking to people and immersing yourself, then it's always going to seem like there's something wrong with everybody else pointing the finger and, instead of looking inward.
And so, do you guys like get each other's numbers and start talking on the phone and going out on little lunch dates? Like, what does it look like?
Yeah, I mean,
How do you let people in?
yeah, the meetings I go to, I mean, specifically, it's like a lot of morning meetings. That first thing, whenever I bring someone new, they're like, whoa, I don't want to go to a 7 a.m. meeting with a bunch of guys. And I'm like, you don't want to hang out with winners? And they're like, oh. And
I
then they
love
think
that.
about that and they're like, oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
they put their sobriety first. It's the first thing they do. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Mm,
I'm mildly interested or curious. And then they go there and realize like anybody who's new to the meeting, whether they're new in sobriety or not, like they'll get swarmed immediately right after and like, here's my number, call me. Like I'll call you.
mhm.
Do you need a ride to meetings? Do you have other meetings? What are you doing after this? What do your days look like? And it's just like, whoa, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, imagine like not having any support or community. Like, here's your new family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I have to do that with people. And now I feel like I'm starting to become more an example where, like, anytime I meet someone, I'll just be like, I'll take you to any meeting. I don't care if you already have a car. Like, that way we can get to know each other better. We fellowship before and after. I want you to get other guys' numbers at meetings. I want you to share at the meeting. Like, we'll pick on you. Like, really push them to the plate.
And I feel like this is kind of like something you just got back into as of like 6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
So, what pushed you to this point of like, I really need to get back in and start doing the work?
Well, I feel like everyone's tolerance of being dry is different. Like
Mm,
some people will go out immediately and they can't handle it. For
yeah.
me, it was like very elongated because I don't know. I think my threshold of pain with that was a lot higher, mostly just because I'm like used to resting on my laurels and being lazy. But eventually it was like, this is so bad. It gets so bad that even though drinking and using won't work, it actually starts to sound like better than just sitting there in misery and discomfort.
Mhm.
Um, And the more I kept thinking like that, the more I was like, well, I don't want this to become a reality all over again because I've already tried everything. I know that doesn't work. So I was like, I might as well just start small. I just called my sponsor and I was like, act like I have one day again. Just tell me what to do.
Mm,
Like, I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk.
yeah.
And I started doing that. He kept it super simple for me. He was like, just go to these meetings every single week, no matter what. We'll go from there. And then like started slowly building momentum. And then from there, I started getting out of myself, helping people, going through the steps again. And then I started taking care of myself more. And that's kind of when this fitness thing started, the transformation of like, I mean,
Mind, body, and spirit.
yeah, like I wouldn't even leave the house. I was just ordering DoorDash and stuffing my face.
Yeah.
And like,
I love that.
it was terrible. It was really bad. Like people would ask me like, why are you even sober? Like, what's the point? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't even know. Like, I
Yeah.
don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Eventually, it was just like, I'm just fully immersed in a depression. And yeah, it got so bad eventually, like people kept saying like, are you just going to continue to feel sorry for yourself? Or are you going to like start picking yourself back up? Like you can't really sink any lower, might as well go up.
Yeah.
And I just started really small because I really didn't want to go out.
This all kind of happened right after camp.
It did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Camp really helped.
Yeah.
Can I also have you?
That's cool.
I know.
I wasn't
is
sure
really
if that was,
cool.
yeah, if that was the
It
case,
definitely
but
helped.
my very first time meeting you was at camp. You showed up so late. Like,
This last time,
yeah,
dude.
But that's
so
just-
late is 2 days late.
2 days late
In
at
the middle
night.
of the night, yeah.
In the middle of the night.
But that just goes to show that's what I was like at the time.
Yeah, like just like zero consideration of me feeling like I need to like wait up every day and every night for like the rest of the 2 guests to show up.
She thought you guys died.
I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Me
You-
too.
Yeah. But you showed up and you joined the talent show.
Hmm.
And
Dude, that surprised me.
yeah, I was shook. The fact that you got up in front of like 100 people that you did not know, you just showed up late, and you danced in front of everyone, like it was so iconic.
But it was like professional dance.
Yes, you're a professional dancer.
I used to be semi-pro in high school. I did like some background dancing for World of Dance and did
Yeah.
a bunch of talent shows and all
Yeah.
that.
You know, also, I think the coolest part about this podcast is that we're breaking a stigma of like,
Of
People-
gay dancers.
no, people just assume that they know exactly what addicts and alcoholics are like.
Yeah.
And you're a man from Paris, I think. Or
Yeah.
maybe I'm making that
From
up.
France.
No.
And like a kind of semi-professional dancer.
Goes on walks on the beach with his parents
Yeah.
once a week.
Like people just assume that they think that they know us and that we live in these meetings and we have no life outside of it. Otherwise, we're going to be miserable and drinking. And there's so much more to our life and sobriety than meetings.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool to like get to really know people and have listeners be able to understand that like we literally are from all walks of life and we all do so many cool things. We're all so unique in our own way. And yeah, just like what you bring to the table is so beautiful and authentic. And I really do love and appreciate you. And like, I'm so grateful that you showed up and that you keep showing up and that you
And that you're going to camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
are you going to dance again?
Absolutely.
Are you you're
Yeah.
going to do the same dance? You're going to like prepare a dance this
Prepare a
time?
dance.
That was a freestyle, but yeah, it'll be different
Yeah?
for
Oh
sure.
my God, this is exciting.
I'm
Dude,
super
can you
should
do it
like-
with your shirt off?
He's going to be without a shirt the whole
wait.
weekend.
And then I'm going to film you for your content.
Wait,
That's the real reason
wait,
behind.
do you know what those like blue dudes are that like
Blue Man Group?
Blue Man Group? Can you
Oh,
like
that-
can you like
That would
paint
be
yourself
dedication.
blue?
We'll
Just
see.
saying, Jimmy was in
And
a dress
make your-
last year. That was
and
dedication.
make yourself bald because they're all bald.
Definitely not. That's where I draw the line.
Oh man. Okay, so I know that we are wrapping it up.
Got it.
Our final question
Did you say question or croissant?
Croissant. I didn't, but it sounded good.
Wait, can you say croissant?
Croissant.
Croissant. Do you speak French?
Oui, Breezy.
Oh my god.
My name means love.
Hot.
J'aime.
Jamais.
J'aime.
There you go.
Oh my god.
You got a little accent going.
I know. I would love to be French. I would love to come back as a French woman in my next life.
Creme cannoli. Oh, that's Italian.
We don't know.
don't know.
Okay. So for those men that are walking into the rooms for the very first time, what is one piece of advice that you can give to them that they can hold on to and hopefully change their life and their sobriety?
Straight fat men. Just kidding.
I was gonna say.
Straight fat men.
I feel like before I got sober, I never had real friends, and in the program, I found trudging buddies that I could like do life with, no matter where I was, where I started, or where they were. And I never really found that outside of a sober community.
Yeah.
And I still do that to this day with other people, and they do it with me, no matter what we're going through or what we're talking about. There's no judgment. We're all equals. I didn't even know that was a thing before I got sober.
Yeah.
So it was just knowing like I can find trudging buddies if I'm just willing to actually get in the middle. If you don't get in the middle, you'll never know though.
Yeah.
There won't be a ripple effect. You won't meet anyone. There won't be any connection. There won't be a change of personality. I just had to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the advice is just be a little willing.
I was going to say just try to connect with other people.
Yeah.
Because for me, it wasn't just about listening in meetings or believing in AA or a higher power, because that was too much for me. I was like, I just have to try to connect with other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's
instead of
actually
just
really
being in
powerful.
my head
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Like I've always been. Like I think I'm doomed to be.
Yeah, that's what our heads tell us for sure. Yeah, I love that. That's a great piece of advice. Well, thank you, PP.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Make me have abs.
We're working on that. TBD.
TBD.
Maybe
All
if
right.
he slaps you with his dick, he'll get abs.
Jesus. Jimmy just thinks of the nastiest thing to say, and he's like, "That's gonna be the drop."
Do you sometimes? Oh my god! I literally thought that in my head. I can.
Oh,
Sometimes
he's just
you guys
bursting, waiting to say it. Then.
No. Sometimes do you guys say things and you're like, why did I just say that?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, not
But
like that.
I don't
but
do it on the podcast though.
Definitely not.
This shit's recorded.
This is a raw one.
Look at his face. He's like, oh.
Your blush is blushing.
Bleep.
Yeah, literally.
Bleep.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for making it through that episode with us. If you found this episode, if you,
Real troopers.
if you, it was all the laughing.
I know,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I meant.
I was just kidding.
If you felt like this episode was helpful or that it could help somebody, please send it to whoever it is that just came and popped in your mind. They deserve to be helped as well. And yeah, I love you all so much. And I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And
And
we
I'm
are
Sober
Sober Disclosure. You are Pierre.
I
and
got it
PP.
this time though.
There we go.
This episode is brought to you by Light Salon, Orange County's premier destination for expert hair color. At Light Salon, we specialize in creating stunning custom color transformations that highlight your natural beauty. Owned and operated by passionate, sober stylists, we bring authenticity, creativity, and precision to every client experience. Light Salon.